Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and today we're going to see if we can get this thing back together and see if it'll run. As you can see, I've already put my carbs back on. I've got the fuel lines just looped together right now. Got our side panels and our air boxes all back together and on. Cleaned up their side panels a little bit. They look pretty good to me. And yeah, we got our what do you call it back down here, our toolboxes on there. So now we need to get our pipes put back on it, check for spark, check out our fuel tank. So let's get all that done. Okay kiddies, before you wrestle this into place, make sure this flange is on the other side of your down tube. Got to take it back off. Okay, despite our little mishap, I do have the pipes on and attached now, so we're looking good over here. Let's see about spark. And for spark, we need to go into here. This is where our points are. I have tried already just to see if I can get spark out of the plug, and it's a no-go. So we need to open this up and take a look. Let's see if these are going to be... Okay, need to get my impact. Wowzers. I was not expecting these to be that difficult. I've never had a points cover fight me like this. I mean, may need to let this soak a little longer. Try to get some, and I might have to throw some heat at this. Alright, I couldn't give up yet. After a little soaking, I gave him another whack with the impact and I got him free. So let's see what it looks like under the points cover here. Definitely not good. Can you see that? As you can see, they're pretty corroded. See if anything's even moving. Nope. The points themselves don't look that bad, but they're not moving. Let's soak everything in some penetrating fluid, and I guess we'll take a look at it tomorrow after it soaks overnight. Well, of course I couldn't leave well enough alone, so I started taking more stuff apart. So as I was saying before the battery so rudely went dead on me, I can't leave well enough alone. So I started taking apart the points, because I noticed the rocker here that opens and closes the points based on this spring, it is not moving at all. It is frozen on its shaft. So I'm going to try to take these off here and see if I can get them freed up. Guess it won't hurt to clean up these terminals too once we get this off here. Oh, almost lost that one little washer. Okay, so we've taken that spring off there. Now this should move freely on that pivot point there, and it does not. It does not move at all. So we're gonna have to work that free. Meanwhile, let's get this other one off. There we go. All right, so we'll clean those contacts off, clean up our plate, and see if we can get this moving. I've got the points pivot thing soaking in acetone and ATF. Hopefully that won't ruin it, but the problem is I looked at getting a set of points and condensers for it just to replace them, and they're not that expensive, so I would have done that. But the problem is you can't get them before October 7th. So if I have any shot of getting this thing to that show, I'm gonna have to get these to work. We're gonna let these soak for a while. Okay, well, these have been soaking for about 24 hours in our ATF and acetone. So let's see if they'll move yet. I don't have a lot of faith. Nothing. I did order a set of points because I didn't have a lot of faith in getting these freed up, and they don't want to move. They are solid. I tried. Now there is a little clip holding this on to the bracket, and I tried to get that off yesterday. I couldn't get it off. Let's see if we can work it off today. Of course, now everything's nice and slimy. Yeah, I don't know how to get that out of there. They probably make it's not like a snap ring pliers would work either. You need something very thin to go in there and push it apart. You would think that would at least spin. Boy. It doesn't even spin in that groove. Well, I have a feeling what I'm about to do is going to break this piece here, but we're going to try it anyway. We're going to take these pliers and we're going to try to squeeze between the bracket and here. I don't like doing that because this is what this surface rides on the cam. Maybe try to soften that a little bit at least. All right. Let's see if we can open it. Oh, we opened it. See, we got the points open now. Maybe we can get this to work. If we can close and open it several times. Let's dip it back in, get some more fluid in there. Let's do the other one, same way. Okay, let's see if we can, whoa. Now let's move it a little bit. There we go. We got that one moving. Now we figured out a way to get it moving, so now we just got to get it work back and forth until it moves freely. I took some duct tape and made me soft jaw pliers, and I worked this back and forth, and now I can move it with my hands, but it's really still stiff, and it clicks, doesn't rotate freely, and it's definitely not free enough that the spring can return it. So I don't know, we'll try to keep soaking it and working it, and maybe we can get it freed up. Maybe we just get the new points in time. I don't know. We're gonna be pushing it. So in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and see about changing our oil and cleaning out the oil filter. And yes, I said cleaning out the oil filter. If you're not familiar, these bikes have a Slinger oil filter on them, and they have to be cleaned out. You don't just replace a cartridge, unfortunately. Oh my gosh. And that is really in there. We're gonna have to get a cheater bar. Okay, actually we're just gonna change it to our breaker bar, which has a little more length on it, therefore a little more leverage. This is kind of a pain because it's on the center stand. Oh my gosh. Oh, there it went. Whew. Hopefully there's no water in here. Uh-oh, that's not good, that's water. First little bit, it looks awful watery, or maybe gasoline-y, but I can't tell. Looks like water. Smells very gasoline-y though. A lot of milkshake looking color though. Looks like a lot of water in that. I did add oil to this. I mean, it feels good for now, but it does smell a lot like gasoline, so hope. All right, we're gonna let that drain for a little bit, and then we'll get onto the oil filter. Okay, while that continues to drain, we are going to try to get off our cover for our oil filter. That's one. I got it that time. Yep. Now, this one's going to be a little trickier because our pedal's in the way. Let's see if we can jam this pedal down somehow. Get a little more clearance. All right. Hell's bells. Wow. Tried just throwing a little heat in it. I don't really like putting a lot of heat right there. There, I think it went. It went. There we go. That little bit of heat was enough. All right. So we have our seals in here. We have O-rings here. O-ring. No, not there. Somewhere. Anyway, this is what we got to take out. And we have this snap ring here that we need to remove to get it out of there. There, let's first clean up our surface. I am normally the king of getting by and making do, but I will have to admit that these super scrapers that old Mortsky shills on his channel, man, these are the best scrapers I have ever used for things like this. I only bought one. I bought the 1-inch one, and they're pricey, but man, do they work good. Now we're gonna grab this snap ring. Maybe. Okay, come on out there. All right, we got it without it going flying. Hey, that's a start. You have this impeller in here, and it goes into these grooves down here. We have our seal. Oh, that ain't good. We got a sliver of aluminum in there. Don't like to see that. Anything else in there? So this in here is our actual oil filter, and this is where the crud builds up in. And as you can see, this one is actually pretty clean. There's not much in there at all. You can get a little bit of stuff off of it. So we're just going to take a paper towel and clean it as best we can here. Yeah, this one's actually really clean. In fact, I wouldn't have been concerned at all if it hadn't been for that little sliver of aluminum I found in there. This is a really simple clean out. That was not bad at all. So we're just going to put it back together. And yes, you should be using new O-ring seals and stuff, but I don't have those right now. So you do need to make sure these vanes align with the vanes slots in here. Now, sometimes this can get stuck, and if it does, it's threaded on the center here, and you can take an M6 bolt and thread into this and pull it out. Make sure you put your O-ring back on the other side. I did. Put that back in there. We're good. Need to take our snap ring pliers and put our snap ring back in the groove. Like so. Now let's just put our cover back on. Probably need to scrape this cover. You can see I got a little bit of crud collected in here, so we need to clean that out. All right, now that's ready to go. If I remember right, I think this lines up with that. Is this a one-way thing? Yeah, they won't line up. There's only will go on one way. They won't line up any other way. So that's how you know you get it right. I did clean up our bolts on the wire wheel, so they will go in and out easier. Probably should put some anti-seize on this for next time. It's a little more than a dab, but it'll do. This one was corroded pretty bad, so I put a little extra love on that one. Okay, now put our drain plug back in. We're ready to fill it up with oil. I'm gonna stick my finger up in here, see what I feel. Well, that's good. I don't feel anything gross or gritty, so hopefully our engine case inside looks pretty good. If I really wanted to know, I'd scope it, but I'm afraid of what I might find. So for now, let's just plug her back up and put some oil in it. After looking all over the place for my ratchet, I forgot. I used it to jam my brake pedal down. Oh, I honestly just looked for like 15-20 minutes for this thing. Was getting ready to use a wrench when I saw it. Okay, drain plug in. Let's just see how many quarts this needs. I might have to look that up. 10W40, 3 quarts. I am just going to be running Shell Rotella T4 diesel oil. This is 1540. I'm going to be using Shell Rotella T4 diesel oil. 1540. The bike calls for 1040, but all that means is this number here. The first number is your low temp viscosity. Second number is your high temperature viscosity. Since I live in North Carolina, I really don't care about this first number much, because the bike in the wintertime, yes, I'll ride it all year long, but in the wintertime it doesn't get that cold here, so 15's fine. So let's see if we can get 3 quarts in here without making a mess. Oh shit, guess not. It blubbed right away. Let's see about getting a different funnel. It couldn't handle what I put in there. Alright, got a thin funnel now, but it won't pour too fast, so we still got to be careful. Alright. Alright, that should be about right. Let's check it with our dipstick. So when you check your oil on these, you don't dip it in and thread the cap down. You just put the cap in till it reaches the surface there and check it. And you just have a low line and a high line here. And the goal is to be between them. Okay, let's see what we got. And we're right at the high line, so we're good. All right, let's check in on our points here. I don't really want to start on my fuel tank and stuff until I get the points operating and condenser and make sure I got spark, because the condenser and coils are all under the tank, and I don't really want to put all that together just to have to take it apart again. If I make it October whatever, it'll be a miracle. Well, they're moving easier. At least this one is. Still not to where the spring can open it back up yet. That's the key. We got to be able to get, when they're open, we have to have this down like that, and that needs to be able to close that thing. without any help. If we can't get it to that point, these are done for. I mean, it's definitely getting easier, but still takes too much force. Let's check out the other one. Oh yeah, this one's definitely a lot harder than the other one. Really need to get that off that pin. I wonder if I can drive this pin through to give me more space. Let's get something to support this, like a little socket or something. All right, so what we're gonna try to do is, because this pin protrudes on the back side, I'm gonna try to drive it free. I don't know if that'll just make the whole thing fall apart or whatever, but we're gonna use a socket on this side to support it. I don't really have a lot to lose at this point.
Try back the other way.
It's getting easier. This one's not closing yet. We got to get it to where it'll close with just this spring pressure, which is not a lot of pressure. All right, just gonna let them soak again. Check them tomorrow. Well, as they say, necessity is the mother of invention, and in my case, desperation is, because the new points that I ordered aren't gonna get here until October 6th. So I had to figure out a way to get these points working. So I did get this one set to open and close the way it's supposed to. So it was not easy, and I had to completely disassemble it. So I'm going to run you through that right now with the other one. Hopefully I can get it working too. So I ended up having to get a little aggressive with it, and basically put it in the vise, holding it on that pin, because everything else will crush, and I don't want to crush that pin either. So it's kind of a tightrope situation here. Then I took my screwdriver and tried to work the E-clip out. See if that got it. All right, I've got it open here. Now, the other one broke when I got to this point, so this one doesn't appear to be broken yet, but we're going to take it off there. So let's go over here. Okay, hopefully you can see now where that has come out some, and we can get a screwdriver in there to get it the rest of the way off. Okay, so here you can see the E-clip that came out of there, and it's deformed, so probably won't be using that one either. The other one was pretty rusty and it broke like right there. So anyway, we got it off. On top of this piece we have two little washers, thin washers. There's one, there's two. Now this was the hard part on the other one. I thought, if you can see in there, there's a brass sleeve around the post. I thought that sleeve would come off, just off the post. Well, it won't. Turns out you have to work this phenolic piece, the cam or whatever you want to call this lobe thing. That is a phenolic material. You have to work that off and force it off of the splined edges of that brass shim. To do that, I just started with the screwdriver, working it back and forth under the cam. Oh, that one came. That one moved. That one went a lot easier than the other one. It's not all the way. Okay, we need a bigger screwdriver now. There we go. Okay, now this piece doesn't need any work. Now you can see the splines on this brass piece that holds this. This is the part we got to get moving, not this. What I did next Came back over to our vise, clamp down on that tab, and then I use my small vice grips to clamp down onto that brass sleeve without hopefully damaging it. And then I started moving it back and forth. Oops. Okay, so it's moving pretty good now on its own, but it still takes the vice grips to do it. It will turn just a little bit right now. So, next thing I did, I need to get this to turn more freely, and as you can see, it's still pretty messed up. So we're going to clean it up just a little bit. Can't get all the way around it. Now, we got to make that turn really easy. It's got to be able to spin with your fingers. So, here's the tricky part. And when I say tricky, it's a trick that I used. So what I went from here, I took my drill and I chucked it up on that brass sleeve. It's turning easier, but not easy enough yet. So I can now turn it with my fingers, but it's still pretty stiff. So now it just becomes a matter of working it back and forth until we can turn it pretty easy. And what I'm going to do now is go get some 3-in-1 oil. Put a little drop all the way around it. Hopefully some of that will get in there. Run our drill again. So now it's starting to get free. Now, see that? Now that's where we need it to be. Back the other way a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Nice and loose now. So now we can clean it up and put it back together. And we're just going to reverse what we did to take it apart. While these are out, we're going to file those contact points real quick. Now long term, I probably won't trust these points, but hopefully this will get me going for the weekend and until the new points show up. All right, so now we need to put them back in the bike and see if we have spark. Okay, so we got our points back in, but as you can see right now, our gap is really big. So we got to set that gap to where it closes down onto this shim. To do that, you loosen the top one and the bottom one, and now the bottom one will pivot in and out, bringing this follower closer to the lobe. We're going to stick our feeler gauge in there and then see if that got it. That's still a little loose. You want it to be on there with just a little bit of drag. Now we do the same thing on our other side. All right, hopefully we got spark, because if we don't, we're done for. If these coils or that condenser is not good, I don't have a way to replace them or fix them before October 5th. So fingers crossed. Let's see if we can get some spark out of this. All right, turn our switch on, turn it to run. Come on baby, have some spark. I saw a little bit of spark here. This gap's too big. Okay, I saw a tiny spark on that one that time. think I'm seeing it, but it's really difficult. All right, let's pull the plug and see if we can see spark attack. Let's see if we get anything on either side here. We got a spark there. Well, I'm getting a weak, inconsistent spark. However, I did realize I never tightened these wires from the condenser down. So it could be that, and I hope that's all it is. I'm hoping that's all it was, just this bad connection on the condenser. All right, let's hope that fixed it. Definitely seeing spark on this one. Maybe really faint on that one. See if I can do this without shocking myself. I'm seeing spark on this side. I'm not seeing spark on this side. Shoot! Is our gap too big on this? Seeing a spark now. So I decided the tank looks good enough for now. I might need to clean it in the future. I am going to use fuel filters, so hopefully I won't get any gunk in my carbs. And like, I taken a gamble with my carbs anyway. I did not rebuild these carbs. They seem to be working pretty good, so I ran with them. So hopefully we're just short on time, so I don't have time to do all this. I'm trying to get this thing up and running by October 5th so I can take it to a show. Well, if things look funny to you, that's because my GoPro fell on the concrete face first and smashed my brand new lens. So I can't tell if it's showing up on the picture yet or not. But anyway, we're going to prepare this tank, and by prepared, I am, because I'm in a hurry. How the heck do you get this lid off here? All right. And by prepared, because I'm in a hurry, I'm just going to rinse it out with gasoline and hope for the best. So we're going to put a half gallon or so in here, and then we're going to close it up and slosh it around, all while holding this on there. And it's leaking out my hand already. Upside down. All right, let's pour some out in our official EPA approved drain container. That doesn't look bad at all. That looks perfectly clear. Let's see what it looks like out this side. Hey, that looks good too. All right, let's take off the petcock plug. You know, this thing's actually fairly clean, apparently, because absolutely nothing came out that looks suspicious in there. Let's get this on the bike and start hooking up our tubes. Oh shoot. Hang on. Forgot, need to open our seat up. Oh, while we're in here, before I cover it up, I want to show you my rear tank mount that I made. I printed this out of TPU filament on my 3D printer. So it's rubbery, and that's to hold the rear tank down. Got a threader petcock in it. That's not going to go on like that. Let's down. Okay. All right. Okay, we gotta find some clamps. We're gonna need a cross hose. Well, I can't find my clamps, so we're just gonna go ahead and pretend they're there. How bad can it leak, right? Okay. One over here. That long. I guess we'll deal with the clamps later. Hopefully we can at least test it out. Get it. Never did like the way these things went. You're almost there. There we go. All right. Still haven't fixed welded our seat together yet, but that'll be all right. This is off, run, reserve. Let's start pouring some gas in here and hope nothing leaks out of it. Nothing leaking so far. Well, I guess we're gonna start some fuel flowing through this thing. Hopefully. Oh, the petcock's leaking, so that's good. Can't tell from where yet, but it's leaking. So far it seems to be the only place it's leaking out of. Alright. What do we do with our key? Key's on the ground. It's not responding through the throttle yet, but it ran. Well, look at that, would you? Well, it's alive. I don't know how healthy it is yet, but it is alive. We've brought this thing back after sitting 25 years in a field, and it runs now. Hey, yeah, I had to put a lot into it, a lot of effort, a lot of work. It's nowhere near done yet. Today is Tuesday. Sunday, I want to take this thing to a show. So that means I got to get the chain adjusted, which I don't know if I'm going to put the new chain on or not. I think I may just run this old chain for this weekend because I don't have a lot of time this week. So I'll try to adjust this chain and lube it. We're not going far, and we're not going to be riding hard. So, you know, we're going to be babying this thing for a while. And you may have noticed a bunch of smoke coming out of this exhaust. I fully anticipated that simply because when I was trying to get it free, I pumped a lot of lubricants like WD-40 and that kind of stuff, and a mixture of acetone and automatic transmission fluid through the engine, and a lot of that was going into the exhaust. In fact, at one point when I picked up the exhaust and I drained a whole bunch out. So I know there's a whole bunch of oil all over this bike. Like it's where I've tried to lube stuff up that's on the exhaust pipes. All that's going to be smoking for a while. It's going to be smoking out the exhaust for a while because burning all that crap out of it. Yeah, it's going to take several heat cycles to get it running, get it going. But yeah, fingers crossed we can get this thing to the show on Sunday, and then we'll worry about a lot of other stuff, and then we'll start actually fixing this bike up since we've got proof of concept that it's going to live. It wants to fight. It wants to get out there and ride again. So without YouTube, until next time, later. Clutch needs adjusted. It's not working right, but